Today's presentations contain forward-looking statements. All statements made that are not historical facts are subject to a number of risks and uncertainties, and actual results may differ materially. Please refer to our most recent earnings release, Form 10-Q and 10-K filing, available on our website, for more information on the risk factors that could cause actual results to differ. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the Senior Vice President and General Manager of Intel's Data Center Group, Diane Bryant.
Good morning, good morning. So thanks much to you in the room and those of you out on the webcast for joining us for our launch of the new Xeon Processor E7 version 2. This is a dramatic refresh of our product line, the product line that delivers the highest performance, the highest reliability, and the greatest scalability in support of those true mission-critical workloads. So with the rise of the digital service economy and this ever-increasing dependency of the business on IT, data analytics has become a clear priority. It's the #1 priority, in fact, according to Gartner. Both the line of businesses and IT organizations see the opportunity to leverage the vast amount of data that's available to deliver direct results to the business, both top line and bottom line results. And in fact, Intel did a survey of CIOs last year, and of the CIOs surveyed, 82% agreed that big data solutions would improve their business results, yet just 5% of them said they had actually deployed big data advanced analytics solutions that were actually driving business decisions. And so that gap creates a wonderful opportunity. In fact, it's predicted to be a 6x growth in investments in infrastructure for real-time in-memory analytics between this year and 2018. So growing from $2 billion this year to nearly $13 billion by 2018. So significant opportunity for growth in enterprise IT. Of course, corporations have always had large quantities of data to inform their businesses, whether it's customer data or financial data or employee data, but much has truly changed. First thing that's changed is the quantity of data. It's vast amounts of data being generated from both social media solutions, the Twitters and Facebooks and YouTube videos, as well as the Internet of Things. So billions of devices that are becoming more intelligent and are connected and driving data. The second thing that's changed is the industry is collectively investing in tools that create an easier to use, a self-serve means for the line of business to actually access and consume the data. Historically, or even today, the line of business are using static, simple reporting of the data. The move now with all the investments in the tools is to give the line of business access to the data to actually do the analytics and the visualization of the data self-serve. The investment in tools doubled over the past 2 years and is on a path to $17 billion industry-wide by 2015. And the third thing is just this ever-increasing delivery of performance and ever-improving price performance of both compute and storage. So thanks to Intel, thanks to Moore's Law, thanks to the continued growth of standard high-volume servers, the cost of compute and the cost of storage continues to come down. So over the past 10 years, the cost of compute has reduced by over 40%, and the cost of storage in dollars per gigabyte has reduced over 90%. So when you have this kind of scale, you're able to process, analyze, compute on massive amounts of data that just would have been cost prohibitive prior. So today we're joined by one of our premier partners, HP, and with them is an innovative solutions provider, Velocidata. Velocidata leverages all the attributes of the new Xeon E7 V2 processor, as well as HP's Proliant DL580 Gen 8 server. HP and Intel have obviously been collaborators and partners for decades, and HP consistently delivers great innovation on top of the Intel architecture. So we're very proud to have Jim Ganthier, who is the Vice President of Global Marketing for their server division, and with him is Chris O'Malley, who is the CEO of Velocidata. And Velocidata performs data transformations and data quality and data sorting for real-time analytics from multiple data sources. So welcome, gentlemen. Thanks,
Hi.
Jim. How are you?
Nice to see you again.
Nice to see you, Chris.
Nice to see you. Thank you very much, Diane, and thanks for having us here. As Diane mentioned, HP and Intel have been partners for a very long time. As a matter of fact, that partnership goes all the way back to the creation of the x86 server market. And both of our companies have led it since its inception. But it's not just about what we're able to do from a partnership perspective. What we have done consistently over that time as the leaders of this industry is focus on innovation. Not innovation for industry's sake or innovation's sake, but how we're able to use that innovation to drive real, compelling business results. And Chris and I are going to talk a little bit about that. So with that, I'm very proud to announce today the availability of the HP Proliant DL580 server. And that 580 server is basically a Gen 8 product. So like everything else Gen 8 that you know and have heard about, it's got all the intelligence, it's got all the automation built in, and as a result, it can deliver industry-leading capabilities, such as a 3-month ROI, and also the ability to nearly double the compute per watt of your data center. But it's not just about that innovation. What we wanted to do with the 580 is actually focus on some of our highest end, most demanding customers. And that's our scale-up customers. This is a space that we've been the market share leaders in revenue for the last 3 quarters. And as a result, what we did here is we focused on their most demanding workloads. We focused on data analytics, we focused on business processing, and we also focused on decision support systems. So what Chris and I are going to do is, instead of talking to you about feeds and speeds and slots and watts and everything else that we would normally do in a technical presentation, we're going to take a different approach. We're going to talk about how a lot of the innovation that we've put in place that's unique from HP and from Intel, and with a great partner like Velocidata, are now able to take all of that innovation and drive dramatically different, compelling, and in some cases, industry-leading business results. So Chris, tell us a little about Velocidata and what y'all are doing there.
Yeah, I'll give you a little background on the company first. We focus in terms of our customers who are driving data to try to gain huge benefits in terms of operational efficiencies within their corporations, as well as trying to get to real-time analytics. And they look to Velocidata to basically offload bottleneck functions that inevitably happen with the volume increase in terms of data, velocity, and varieties. So we have 3 products: data transformation, data quality, data sort, all built on a HP Intel platform, taking advantage of all the nuances in terms of what they released today. That appliance, in terms of how it works, it basically takes source data from anything you can think of: structured data, unstructured data, streaming data. It runs as a flow through our appliance. We do our magic in terms of standardizing data formats, encrypting data where it needs to be, sorting that data, getting it basically prepared fully to the point when it gets to the target. Gotcha. So that something like HP HANA or Hadoop or a data warehouse can pick up the work immediately and then begin to do analytics or operations.
Okay. Can you tell us a little about some of the business results or examples of what we've been able to do together for customers?
Yeah, and one point I want to make quick, the thing that makes us unique and different in terms of how we do that, because other companies do that, is what we do 10 times faster, 100 times faster, 1,000 times faster.
1,000 times faster.
Not 1,000%, 1,000 times. And to give an example of the benefits in terms of how customers are using that capability, we have a healthcare insurance company, a very large one that's grown through acquisitions. They wanted to do, in terms of synergies, basically have one function for customer service across the entire enterprise, all the brands. Right. That entails basically taking claims data from all these disparate systems, doing all that stuff in the middle that I just described, and putting it in a data warehouse so that customer service people could respond to requests around claims or questions on the claims, regardless of brand. So the problem with that is that over the years, in terms of the complexity of the data, the transformations, just the volume scale, it was taking 16 hours to actually get that middle part of the work done. And that was being done by a leading product within the industry. So we worked with the customer, offloaded those bottleneck issues onto our appliance, which is based on Intel and HP technology, and took 16 hours down to 1 minute.
1 minute.
1 minute.
Impressive.
And not only did we fix a burning issue for the customer, help them to realize the benefits of getting costs down as it relates to customer service, but it unshackled them, if you will, from the conventional wisdom of what's possible. And now they're thinking about all kinds of new insights in terms of what can be driven to the customer service people to even improve the experience more and actually cross-sell in the course of those events.
So when you and I talk about fundamentally redefining both the economics and the expectations, especially in the era of data analytics and business processing, I mean, you and I talk to hundreds of customers a year, and we hear consistently, I want to have more transactions in less time, at less cost, and it's got to be rock solid reliability, because this really is the data that helps drive my business. We also hear a lot about performance, efficiency, and reliability. How about another example of where we're helping redefine the industry?
I can't think of a better example than financial services. We have a financial services customer that wanted to monetize their credit card data. So that entailed taking a bunch of data off the mainframe, credit card data off the mainframe, putting it into Hadoop. Once there, they wanted to do analytics against the data to try to deduce what was the genesis behind your transaction decisions. Are you getting married? Are you going on vacation, remodeling your kitchen?
Right.
And then sell that insight actually to their merchants as a lead, so that in fact those merchants could engage with those customers at the point that they're actually making those buying decisions to hopefully influence them.
Gotcha.
Now in theory that sounds great, and you hear these examples, but practically that was taking with conventional tools 8 hours, 10 hours, 12 hours to actually perform. And it's not that interesting to know why I was buying something at noon when I'm sleeping at midnight.
It's got to be on time.
It's got to be in the moment.
Right.
So again, we offloaded those bottleneck functions. We took basically that data or the transformations at wire speeds to allow them to actually realize this service to their merchants so they can engage customers at real time. And I think that's a wonderful example of the advantages these large companies have with all this massive amounts of data. If they can synthesize it down, create insights out of it, and engage in transient moments, that's how you win the game in the digital economy.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, you and I have actually told customers that we want to help them take hindsight and turn that into insight, or turn information into basically something that's actionable. So again, when you look at the capabilities, when you look at the performance, and you look at some of the things that when we take Intel innovations and we add our industry standard innovations on top of that, and then we marry that to some really great partners, we really are helping to not only redefine the economics and expectations, but we're helping our customers deliver business results and deliver basically new fundamental things in terms of how they can help change their business and actually help change an entire industry. So Chris, thank you very much for the partnership. And Diane, we'll turn it back to you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Thank you. Good to see you, Jim. Yep. Thank you. So analogous to harnessing the wind to create clean energy, as you hear, businesses are harnessing the available data to transform their business. eWeek did a survey where 93% of the respondents across all industries believe that their organizations were losing revenue by not being able to manage their data effectively. Those that lead are clearly winning. In retail, for instance, online retailers are increasing sales through the integration of recommendations into every aspect of the consumer purchasing process. Amazon actually reported that 29% of their sales in 2013 was generated through their recommendation engine, so dramatic. Nordstrom invests tremendously in big data analytics solutions, integrating volumes of data from their website with their in-store data, combining it with social data to then determine what products they should be recommending to their customers. The healthcare industry is another one. It's obviously finally going digital, and in doing so, creating just an unprecedented spiral of data. The healthcare data in the US has grown at a 34% CAGR over the past 4 years. The largest amounts of that data are coming from medical imaging data as well as the electronic health records. And so this is just generating a tremendous investment in data analytics solutions. Kaiser is a leader in this space. They have reduced their annual costs by $1 billion through reducing clinic visits. And they do it by using the vast amounts of data they have and targeting the specific high-risk patients and then providing them with personalized preventative health care. So keeping them out of the clinics and driving down their costs by $1 billion a year. It's pretty impressive results. In the manufacturing, top airlines are using predictive analytics to identify mechanical fatigue and predict that failure before it actually occurs. So you can schedule the preventive downtime, preventative maintenance, and avoid significant operational loss of having to take a flight off or cancel a flight. Intel's own IT organization, which I used to run, so I'm very proud of, they've now deployed a security solution, a big data analytics security solution that analyzes 7 billion security events a day from 47 different sources. And then they aggregate this data to predict intrusion and predict malware in the environment and take corrective action far more rapidly than they were able to do prior. So driving down the operational costs and obviously more importantly, protecting Intel's IP. So many, many examples of industries that are grabbing the data that they have at hand and fundamentally changing the way they operate. And I'm excited to have with us today a true leader in the financial sector, so the London Stock Exchange. As you well know, the London Stock Exchange is the largest exchange in Europe. And with them is a longtime partner of ours, IBM. So Moez Koheri is the VP of Advanced Platform Technology. And from IBM, we have Adalio Sanchez, who's the leader of the System X business. And together, they'll give you some insights into the innovations that have been delivered to the London Stock Exchange in a combination of IBM technology running on the new Xeon E7 V2. So Adalio, hey, how are you?
Hi, Diane.
Thanks for coming.
Thank you. Good morning. Moise? Hi. Good morning. I'm delighted to be here, and thank you, Diane, for inviting us to participate in this event today. You know, the new Intel E7 V2 processor is the foundation of IBM's new X6 line of scalable enterprise-class systems that we launched last month. And it really enables these new systems to provide new levels of performance, of agility, and really reliability for today's new enterprise class applications like ERP, like database, like analytics that have not been run on Intel architectures in the past. We also expect this new line of servers to spawn a new wave of virtualization of enterprise class apps as we go forward. Now, the X6 line of systems is our 6th generation of our enterprise X architecture systems, which is a culmination of many years of R&D development and collaboration with Intel, which quite frankly has generated a lot of industry firsts, from the first scalable x86 systems to the first machines that hit 1 million TPMC, to really most recently what we've been able to do with X6, which is the whole notion of integrating flash into the memory channel with our X-Flash memory channel storage capability. And quite frankly, as a result of this, according to IDC, that is why IBM System X today has the #1 position in 4-socket and above systems in the x86 world. But today we're really happy to be here as part of this, and also have Moez Koheri here from London Stock Exchange. Moez, the London Stock Exchange is a great customer of ours, and I know that having to operate the London Stock Exchange and having to deal with the demands of performance and reliability really poses a pretty interesting challenge for you and your team. And could you tell us a little bit about how you leverage today System X and the Intel E7 line of processors, and what's your perspective on that?
Sure. So we're very excited about the E7. It's usually when you look at new processor lines, you're looking at speed. We're getting that. You're looking at additional memory access. The access times themselves matter heavily for us. So when you look at the London Stock Exchange group, we run on the front end, we run multiple stock exchanges, London, Milan, Oslo. On the back end, we also run clearing and settlement services for many of the European markets. So from that perspective, our needs are somewhat varied, because when you look at our needs, we're basically trying to provide the fastest, lowest latency environments on the front end from an exchange perspective. On the back end, we have to provide analytics and all the risk management and collateral management services that we have to, and fully integrate that back in with the front end, so that we can put all kinds of checks in due to new regulations and things that are arriving. So when you think about all of that, right, what ends up happening is that it's not just we're looking for a large distributed service environment, because your data centers, everyone's data centers are growing exponentially. We need denser platforms in order to really consolidate our data centers. and still be able to deliver much higher level of service, especially when it comes to latency jitter and things like that. If you think about it, latency jitter gets added into the markets when you have your entire exchange or other components that are distributed in a large environment, and you have networking components. So you have the TCP/IP stack, which is non-reliable to begin with. So from those perspectives, when you look at denser platforms and allowing us to be able to leverage memory-based communications across some of these adjacent components, it becomes really interesting.
So this whole notion of system design end-to-end, given your varied requirements, is really fundamental, isn't it?
Well, absolutely. Like, even when you do a distributed environment, right, from our perspective, it is an entire system that you need to deploy. We don't look at it as, oh, that's the database or that's the processor, right? The whole thing needs to work together because our clients measure us in our ability to deliver a low latency platform. And of course, reliability, serviceability, availability, that doesn't go away. That's
so as you look at
expected.
E7, V2, and the new X6 systems, what role will these play in your enterprise?
Well, we're certainly, as you know, we're doing all kinds of work in the lab right now. We're very excited because as we look at denser platforms and our ability to consolidate multiple processes into single system images so that we can try to take some of that jitter away, that becomes really interesting. So there's all kinds of innovations that are happening.
So this whole notion of performance, of agility, and reliability is fundamental to you, huh?
Well, absolutely. I mean, we can't.
Well, that's what
without
X6
that.
is all about with our Intel Xeon E7 processor, and we look forward to continuing the collaboration between our two companies as we drive this thing to another level. So
Thank you
thank
very
you for
much.
being here. Thank you
Absolutely.
for your support, and look forward to working with you. Diane,
Thank you.
up to you.
Thank you. Very nice. Thank you, Liz. Nice. Thanks, Dahlia. Good to see you. So in-memory computing is transformational, as we've said. The move of the large data sets from disk-based data warehousing to main system memory directly connected to the compute creates all new usage models. For instance, the Italian tire company Proliant is offering a new service to truck fleets. They are recording and analyzing 40 billion events reflecting the tire performance in real time, and the results are they can offer their customers an increase in the lifespan of the tires by 20%. All new service coming from in-memory real-time compute. Credit card companies are obviously using real-time analytics, combining bank transactions with social media to both avoid fraudulent transactions as well as determine the risk factors of the consumer. Visa has identified $2 billion in fraud reduction by using real-time predictive analytics. And there's new consumer services coming all the time, being invented thanks to in-memory computing through this blending of transactional and analytical functions. Nike, maybe many of you out here are actually part of this, but Nike now allows you through your wearable device to upload your running performance stats real time and compare it against other online consumers. And Nike now has 10 million subscribers to this service. So lots of new experiences being generated, lots of new services driven by the fundamental benefits of in-memory computing. There's obviously, clearly, technology that enables these kinds of usage models and these kinds of results. So real-time data analytics and mission-critical computing require some fundamental things. They require maximum performance for very high-speed processing that can provide these rapid real-time decision-making. It requires a very large memory footprint. We're talking terabytes of capacity that can support these ever-increasing data sets. It requires very high reliability and availability, as we just heard. So when you're treating memory like storage, it means the system can never go down. That data integrity is critical. And the biggest limiter today in deploying big data analytics solutions is complexity. And so having a broad ecosystem of analytics solutions to match what you hear as the broad usage models is very, very important. And so that brings us then to our new product line. So this is the second generation of the Xeon E7 processor. So the E7 V2, which was codenamed Ivy Bridge, for those that you follow our code names. So this delivers against all of those vectors. It supports 2-socket to 8-socket with our on-die integrated QPI interconnect, so seamless, glueless, up to 8-socket. And then it obviously supports beyond 8 sockets, 16 socket and beyond through the OEM innovation that's occurring around the node controller solutions. With the launch, we're launching 20 different product SKUs, so varying across cache size, core count, and frequency so that we can deliver a targeted solution optimized for the variety of workloads. And with 4.3 billion transistors on a die, I'm sure you can count that and see it's evident here with this wafer. So 4.3 billion transistors per die, utilizing our 22 nanometer Tri-Gate 3D transistor technology. It integrates up to 15 cores per socket. Each of those cores is hyper-threaded, so that's a total of 30 threads per socket. And runs up to 3.4 gigahertz. And on top of the 3.4 gigahertz, we also have the turbo boost technology. So the result of all of that, as you can see, is a doubling of the performance from the prior generation E7. The new E7 supports 3 times the memory capacity, so 1.5 terabytes per socket, or 6 terabytes for a 4-socket server, obviously, and 2.5x increase in the memory bandwidth, so truly optimized for in-memory analytics. As the core count and the memory capacity and the CPU frequency all increase, it's important that the I/O scale with that so that we maintain a balanced system. So we have a 4x increase in the I/O capacity, so both total number of PCI Express lanes going from 72 to 128, as well as a move from PCI Gen 2 to PCI Gen 3. And finally, we have added to this product line over 20 memory, I/O, and CPU RAS features. We collectively call these features the RunSure technology. These are features that identify errors and either self-heal, like with our QPI interconnect, or capture and propagate the failure up to the software stack, whether it be the OS or the VMM, the virtual machine module, or to the application, so that the application can take action to maintain system operation. The result of all that is 5 nines of reliability, so true mission critical class reliability, delivering the uptime that is offered with the RISC systems today, so truly bringing us into mission critical class computing. An example of a RISC migration is the Yunnan Telco company, which is in the southwest of China. They did a RISC migration off of RISC onto the new Xeon E7 V2. The E7 met all of their network operator needs for mission critical operation, delivering 24/7 against their billing solution. And the company reported a 60% reduction in the total cost of operation from the move off of RISC onto Xeon. So dramatic improvement. With the new E7 V2, we are announcing with our partners 20 world records. A small sample here is shown, but 20 world records across the full span of workloads, enterprise workloads, technical computing, virtualization, database, Java applications, literally across all workloads. We have a leadership position. As you well know, we have long been the leader in a price performance environment on our Xeon portfolio, but now with the launch of this product, we take a clear performance leadership against all RISC architectures. So for the first time, we have performance leadership against IBM as well as the other RISC solutions. And this really creates a game changer in the economics that we can deliver to IT organizations. So I said that in-memory computing was transformational, so here's a data point to reinforce that. The combination of IBM and Intel technology delivers 140x performance improvement in database query time. So if you start with the prior generation of Xeon E7 running on IBM's DB2 10.1, so you're pulling data off the disks out of the database, that is the reference point, so that's 1x performance. If you move now to IBM's new DB2 10.5 with Blue Acceleration, which is their in-memory database analytics solution, and you run that on the new Xeon E7 V2, you deliver a speed up of 148x. Truly dramatic. So at 148x improvement, you're able to unlock trends and data and patterns in the data that you just realistically couldn't have done before. Dramatic, dramatic change in capability. And I'm excited to have with us an industry leader in the use of analytics to both create new business models as well as to improve the efficiency of existing models. I think you'd agree that eBay is a perfect example of the digital service economy. and they have a great proof point for the benefits of SAP's HANA solution in memory computing running on Cisco UCS. So with us is the Vice President of Corporate Enablement Functions, Dan Morales. eBay runs on Cisco UCS systems, benefiting from the incredible engineering innovation that we have all counted on from Cisco. And so I'm very happy to have with us as well the leader of the UCS product line and Senior Vice President and General Manager of the Data Center Group, Dave Yen. Dave? Hey, nice to see you.
Hi.
Thank you. Hi. Hi, Dan.
Well, thanks, Diane, for inviting us here. You listen to the description of London Stock Exchange. It is obvious in today's high-performance IT environment, it requires intimate integration of compute and networking. So with its networking core competency, a fabric computing-based architecture design, and innovative in doing provisioning and the ease of operation management software, Cisco entered the x86 server business less than 5 years ago. And yet, the reception by the customer and the industry was incredibly successful. We've been gaining market share every quarter since introduction. And today, we are the #2 x86 blade server worldwide market share leader and heading for #1. Diane talked about the 20 Xeon E7 V2 performance records. Cisco UCS actually possesses 7 of them. Also, you listen to the wonderful description from the CEO of Velocity Data, and I couldn't help thinking, about 6 months ago, actually the CEO of one of our competitors referred to the rapid growth of UCS, Cisco UCS, as that of Velociraptor. So with that, Dan, I'm so glad you can join me here today. And Cisco is very proud in partnering with Intel and SAP to support your initiative at eBay. And you manage what is clearly one of the largest internet platforms in the world. So can you give us a sense of what's the scale of the eBay business?
Thanks, David. Yeah, the eBay business, it's an incredible story, as most of you guys are probably users of one of our products. So let me cover it briefly. You guys are familiar with the eBay marketplaces, typically where you go on, buy products through auctioning or buy it now and buy new products. We also have what we call eBay Enterprise, which is a division of eBay that helps brick and mortar type companies enter into the e-commerce businesses where we can help them with online e-commerce and pick, pack, and ship. And of course, the third major business that we have is their favorite way to pay in a secure way to execute a transaction via PayPal. And so those 3 businesses make up roughly $212 billion worth of commerce a year on behalf of eBay Inc., which is tremendous amount of data flowing through the actual franchise and through our platforms. That is roughly 143 million active customers buying and selling through these platforms in virtually every country around the world. So what's exciting about that is that generates roughly 50 petabytes worth of information that eBay can leverage for analytics purposes to help these buyers and sellers become more effective storefronts online.
So what are the opportunities for eBay to take advantage of the real-time analytics to increase the performance of eBay Marketplace?
Yeah, the opportunities are endless, and we're on the forefront of predictive analytics, whether it's to help secure our platforms more, because security is on the forefront of eBay and PayPal. But I'm really excited about the latest innovations that we've been working on, which essentially is we're looking for signals within the data to help eBay run its businesses better. When I mean signals, it's we employ roughly 300 data scientists across the eBay franchise. They're looking through anomalies within the data to help whether it's spikes in gold or issues with revenue because of changes in platforms that we don't control. It could be it could be a operating system upgrade on a mobile device or an operating system change in a PC or a Mac that affects commerce. And so rather than being reactive, we're looking to try to find that as real time as possible so we can make modifications within our platform to help keep the commerce engine running. And so we've ventured down a path to find signal detection in an automated way. These 300 scientists, they probably do a couple of 100,000 in a month. Now we're looking to ultimately get to how can we do 1 million signals in a month and give those scientists better data so that they can drill in and better run our platform. So ultimately driving better revenue, more sales for our buyers and sellers on the platform.
This is very exciting. So Dan, I know you are currently evaluating the next generation technology from Intel and Cisco. So what early results are you seeing in your SAP HANA environment?
Yeah, we're very fortunate to have great partners in Cisco and Intel and SAP and NetApp that enables us to stay bleeding edge on some of those use cases that I just described. And through that partnership, you guys were able to provide me with 4 C460 M4s in which we're running HANA version 70 in that platform. And when we compared that last week to the earlier signal detection platform that we're doing, we're seeing anywhere from 50 to 100% changes, gain improvements in that signal detection platform. So, that's exciting for eBay because we can run more transactions through that engine, ultimately driving and helping our sellers.
Well, I'm very glad to hear. And you are definitely heading down an innovative path. So when your team set out to architect the infrastructure for this platform, what attributes were most important to you?
Absolutely. So a couple of years back, we were taking a look at the platforms that run the back office. It happened to be mostly our SAP finance platforms, HR platforms, procurement platforms, and they were due for an upgrade. And they were running some monolithic risk-based platforms. And we said, okay, times have changed. Virtualization was out there. And we evaluated Cisco UCS and ultimately decided we were going to migrate to Cisco UCS. And I could say that the goal was because we wanted to go from months of rolling out traditional monolithic to days/hours. And I can say as of 2 months ago, we're 100% virtual on those platforms. And we shut down our last monolithic risk-based platform running SAP. So we're literally there. And true story, I was in a meeting last week and with my architects, and we were talking about spinning up an instance of SAP, because we had, we wanted to do some testing of a new language pack for SAP. And I looked at them, I said, okay, I know we're 100% virtual. How fast can you get that environment up for me? And they're like, today. So the days of months are gone. So we're excited to see that because of partnership with you guys and Intel and SAP.
So thank you for sharing your story with us. This is a fantastic real-world look at the new breed of analytics that Diane and Intel is talking about here. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Good to see you. Lots of fun. That is great. Amazing results. So what eBay's been able to achieve with SAP HANA and with the UCS system is obviously very impressive. I want to demonstrate an example of another transformation from another industry, the oil and gas industry. So typical for modern rigs these days are tens of thousands of sensors that are distributed across the range of equipment in an oil and gas platform, monitoring and predicting potential failures in the rigs. Failures obviously lead to downtime. Downtime is very expensive, particularly in this industry. It's calculated at $16,000 per minute or nearly $1 million per hour when these rigs go down. So using in-memory analytics solutions with the Xeon E7 V2, maintenance decisions can be made real time, having a significant economic impact. And so I'd like to invite on stage Shannon Poulin, who runs our data center marketing organization, to come and give you a demonstration of that. Hey, Shannon, how are you?
How are you? Good.
Come on in, tell us what you're going to do.
Sure. So Really cool demo today. We're going to look on the left side of the screen. You guys will see a previous generation Xeon E7 system. On the right side of the screen, you'll see the new Xeon E7 V2. The difference between these are pretty obvious, but a couple things we've already heard about are the large memory footprint that's available on the V2 product. What you heard from Diane is, as you look at oil and gas and as they're getting a bunch of this sensor data in, you can generate a very large data set. In this particular demo, we're looking at 4 terabytes of data, right? So if you're on the left-hand side, you can't pull all that data and put it in memory. You've got to pull some of that off a disk. On the right-hand side, you can fit that entire 4 terabyte data set in disk, so you can process it a lot faster, right? So this is actually a SAS analytics application running on SAP HANA. So it's really cool data. So we'll get it started.
Okay.
And what you can see, it's analyzed all the data, right? It's brought all that 4 terabytes of data in. The demonstration on the right-hand side finishes in about 5 seconds. On the left-hand side, it'd take about 12 minutes. So we're not going to wait till that one's done.
We're not going to let you stay on stage for 12 minutes. No.
We could, but we won't. So what you can see is the right-hand side, obviously, the performance of doing something in memory is just incredibly faster. What can they do with this if you're an oil and gas company? What can you do with this? Well, you can see in Poland, in LODS, we have an issue, right? It's looked at all the data that it analyzed as the 4 terabytes, compared it to some previous data, right, and said, hey, let's go evaluate. We think we might have an issue here, so let's go take a look at it. So you go in and you say, okay, what specifically is the issue with the data we looked at, right? We got this massive speed up, this 128 times speed up. We did everything faster. We got a result in 5 seconds, but now, oh, look, we're coming up with something in terms of predictive failure. So what they can actually go do is they can go in and say, okay, I want to replace the pump, or I want to gracefully shut down so that I don't have an issue, and I want to get things back up and running very quickly. What that means to them from a cost perspective, you talked about it, massive speed up, but they also, 12 minutes to them is a pretty big deal. It could be up to a couple $100,000, right? So the great new performance of the in-memory capability on the platforms delivers them a great result.
Tremendous. Yeah, very impressive results. Hey, thanks,
Great.
Shannon.
Thank
Super.
you.
That's impressive. Yes, a great application, predictive maintenance. So we have all watched the risk market decline over the past 15 years, and this past year alone, power system revenue declined 33%. Today, the risk architecture holds just 6% of the unit share of 4-socket and above, yet those units actually comprise 52% of the system revenue in 4-socket and above. So with the Xeon E7 V2, we just further democratize mission-critical computing. The 4-socket Xeon E7 version 2 offers up to an 80% higher performance compared to a 4-socket IBM Power 7 Plus solution, and while doing so, delivering an 80% reduction in a 4-year total cost of ownership. So we fully expect that customers are going to quickly adopt this latest platform across a broad range of mission-critical workloads, including in-memory analytics, as we've been talking about, standard business processing solutions like ERP and CRM and database solutions, as well as large-scale virtualization and scale-up high-performance computing. So we believe this is a clear winner. And so IT's move off of risk is enabled through system innovation that occurs from OEMs like HP, like Cisco, like IBM, as well as Dell. And Forrest Norwood, who couldn't be here today, he has a video he'd like to tell you more about what they're doing with the Dell systems in risk migration. And Forrest is the VP and General Manager of Dell Server Solutions. So let's roll the video.
Dell and Intel have had a long-standing partnership, and we're delighted to be part of the Intel Xeon E7 V2 launch. Our customers are facing a challenge extracting value from the enormous amounts of data that their organizations produce. And to do so, they need more memory, faster cores, and more of them. With the Xeon E7 V2 powering the PowerEdge R920, customers have that compute powerhouse that they need to handle their most intensive workloads. And early customers are seeing the value. From the digital marketing company that's using it to speed the auctioning of digital ads before search terms come back, to customers improving sales productivity with real-time CRM, giving their sales makers access to data that they never could have before. Many customers are reporting 70% performance improvement in their applications. But beyond performance needs, our customers need infrastructure that will service them with no disruption. Customers moving from RISC to flexible open infrastructure for their mission-critical applications need to be assured that they can do so with no downtime. And so Intel and Dell have innovated together to deliver world-class reliability, availability, and serviceability features. Intel Run-Sure technology and Dell fault-resilient memory, Dell fail-safe embedded virtualization all give our customers that security in their infrastructure. With the new Dell PowerEdge R920, we've collaborated with Intel to provide our mutual customers with the technology they need to remain competitive and powerful, especially in today's information-driven world. We look forward to partnering with Intel for many more years to bring new innovations and benefits to our customers.
And so we have launched the broadest ecosystem, including the OEMs, OSVs, ISVs. We launched today over 40 system designs across 21 OEMs, ranging from 2-socket to 16-socket, many of them shipping now. The software solutions that have been optimized for the Xeon E7 V2 are vast. A few of them here I'll call out. Microsoft SQL Server 2012 takes advantage of all of the features of the Xeon E7 V2. Including our Run-Sure technology, and we're very excited about Microsoft's next generation in-memory database that will further take advantage of the memory footprint of the new processor. SAP HANA, you heard a lot about the power of the SAP HANA running on the Xeon E7 V2, enabling real competitive advantages, as you heard from eBay. ClickView is a great example of a business discovery tool that delivers true self-serve BI, putting the data in the hands of the line of business. And then Oracle, their 12c database with in-memory application support is perfectly suited for the Xeon E7 V2. So lots and lots of ecosystem partners making these solutions come to life. In-memory computing is transforming the business through insights and faster decision-making. IT is the business. Advancements in IT have enabled the digital service economy. The Intel Xeon E7 V2 family delivers top-of-line performance, the highest reliability, highest memory capacity, and highest scalability, all of which are critical for mission-critical applications, including in-memory analytics and business processing. And so the Xeon E7 V2 will give a highly anticipated boost to enterprise IT, giving them the ability to deploy new capabilities that were previously impossible, adding even more value from IT to the businesses they serve. Thank you very much.